there, have you been thinking about making a move to Irvine, California? But before you do, you want to make sure that your four-legged fur kid is going to have a comfortable place to live and just, do life in, then this is the right video for you. Hi, I'm Giselle and I am a resident here in Irvine. I've been in Orange County for a little over 3 years now. I'm originally from the Bay Area, but I've also lived in places like LA and Fort Lauderdale. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and do this every time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't visited this channel before. I just talk about all things living Irvine. If you have anything that you have a question on or topics you'd like to see, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll definitely add it. This here is one of the comments of the questions or discussions that I've had recently, and I thought I would share it. Okay, so a little backstory before I get into answering this question is a little bit about myself and my fur kid. So Saul is about 14 years old, I think. He's a rescue. I've had him since he was about 4 years old, and he's a pit lab mix. So he's a pretty big guy. He's around 72 pounds, and he's just an absolute doll. And like most, for kid parents, I guess I should say, I definitely say that he is the best. He's very well socialized with both kids and other pets, both big and little. So he's definitely been around. He's also been used as a dog to help socialize other dogs in the past as well. So with all of that said, I still am someone who likes to make sure that I'm going to feel comfortable having him around because he is a pit lab. Sometimes, that reputation of the breed, the misinformation that has been out there for so long about this breed in particular, it can be a little bit more challenging to find housing. So this video here is geared to all canines. I'm going to talk about big and small, but just know that my experience comes from having a larger dog and also one that is genuinely or generally, is, what should I say, is stereotyped against. I don't know what the right wording is or phrasing, but you know what I mean. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. There are plenty of cities throughout the nation that ban particular dogs, the pit or a pit mix being one of those. When I lived in Florida, that was a big thing. Miami County at the time, I don't know if it still exists, but they had a pit bull ban, and it was even a mixed breed. So if they had certain features, then that was it. They weren't allowed. Now you will still see them there. And then certain neighborhoods were friendlier about it than others, but for the most part, they were completely banned. So I ended up moving to Broward County specifically because they didn't have that ban. So I moved to Fort Lauderdale. Now, I'll tell you, just finding housing and communities that would accept him was a big, big challenge. And it was a big learning lesson. The neighborhood where I lived, there was a lot of fear, just walking, leash walking, normal walks of folks crossing the streets or kind of staring at you a little bit longer. And it just was uncomfortable. So when I moved back to California, ever since then, I've just always been very conscientious of where it is that I'm living so that I am at peace and that he is also in a place where he can roam, he can walk freely on the leash, and that we can be comfortable. So when I moved to Irvine, I was looking for a place that I could bring him along. Now, of course, in California, you can have an emotional support animal, so that does allow you a little bit more room to work with your pets that you're bringing along. But this video here is not going to focus on the emotional support animal side of things. I'm just talking about, regular pets that have not been listed as emotional support animals. So what I want to bring in is Irvine Dog Friendly. Overall, in my opinion, yes, it really, truly is. When you go to parks, if not all, because I haven't been to all of the parks, 100% of the parks here in Irvine yet. There's so many and trails. For the most part, they are dog friendly. You are allowed to have your dog on a leash, and most of the dog parks even have stations set up for you to get bags and also dispose of the waste from your pooch. So no excuses to not pick it up. And what I really enjoy about that is, I used to run about 6 to 7 miles with mine every day. And we would sometimes, those little clippy things that you attach to the leash, they would just fall off while I was running, and then there would go my bags, and I would be stuck there going, oh my gosh, how am I going to pick this up? And I would be trying to find like anything that's been dropped, or where, like, notating where it was so that I could come back after and pick it up. So having these bag stations just really helps out, especially in those times where something like that has happened. I mean, I learned my lesson after that and just carried bags inside my pockets extra. It's really nice that there really is no reason for someone to not pick up their dog waste while they are out on a walk with their dog. So most of the parks have them. We also have several different dog parks in the area that are off leash. One of my own personal favorites, and I'll say Saul's favorites, is one that is called Central Bark. Isn't that so cute? So if you're a Friends fan, then that would resonate with you. There's lots of space. It's for all sizes of dogs. So they can go and have a great time. So if you like to play fetch, or if you just want them to socialize with other dogs, then it's a great space to go, and they can roam around freely without a leash. I noticed that a lot of a lot of grocery stores and shopping centers in general have water bowls. And speaking of water bowls, most of the parks also have water fountains with water bowls. So I forgot to mention that little bit as well. So if you forget the water, then you can still get your pooch some water or extra water if they need it. Okay, so going back to the grocery stores, many of them do have areas where you can easily tie them up, and they can be in a shaded area while you go in and do what it is that you need to do and then come back out. A lot of restaurants also have bowls that are laid out front. So some that I can think of off the top of my head are places like Lemonade, which is a chain in Urban Plates as well. Will have dog bowls outside with water, or you can even just bring your dog to the patio area and tie them up. And then, as long as they're well behaved, they can sit there and watch you enjoy your meal. So they can sit and relax. Should your pet not feel well for, any numerous reasons, and he needs to get medical attention, and then also just for regular checkups and things like that, there are plenty of vets in the area, highly rated vets that are private vets, as well as emergency clinics. And if you're part of a network, something like a Banfield that's part of the PetSmart system, I believe it's PetSmart, then there are also those vets as well. So regardless of which category you fall in, whether it's something like a Banfield or something that is more of private care, you will have options, and you will be able to see their ratings and see how they are ranked against others. The other thing that is good to know is that there's excellent doggy daycare as well. So if you, and of course grooming services, but if you ever have to go out of town, if you have to go away for an extended period of time, of course you can use apps like Wag and Rover. So if you find someone there that you enjoy and trust, that does exist here and it's used often and regularly, but there are actually doggy daycare centers as well that are ranked really well. Home Sweet Paw, I think that's the name. I'll put the right one just up here somewhere for you, is one that I take Saul to, and they're excellent. He loves being there. You can watch him on video. He's always excited to go in, and he's one that suffers from anxiety, so I know that he enjoys his time. And they also have grooming services as well, and when he's gone in for grooming services, it's gone very well. So anyway, and that's just one, but there are overall, in my opinion, Irvine is fairly friendly when it comes to the cityscape. Now, when it comes to housing, that it does vary a little bit. So if you are renting, the Irvine company in particular does allow pets, but they do have breed restrictions. Doesn't matter if it's an emotional support animal, and this may have changed. I haven't talked to them recently, but you will, if you're like me that just wants to be in a comfortable place and not make anyone uncomfortable with their dog, then that probably their buildings won't be the right ones for you if they even allow your pooch. But they do have dog friendly, so if you're outside of those breeds that are restricted, then they do have dog friendly. Most of them are weight limited, but some are not, so you may even be able to have a larger dog. Ones that aren't restricted are ones like Equity. There is an Equity residential, and there's also an Avalon. And Shea Homes, the home builder, also has apartment buildings in the area, and they are pet friendly. And they don't have the dog size restrictions, which makes, if you do have a larger dog, and when I say dog size restrictions, I'm talking about like the 30-pound and over size dogs, okay? All right, so that is nice. If you're considering buying a property in Irvine, you will want to check with the HOA whether there are any restrictions to the dogs, to having pets, to the size of the pets, and then breed restrictions as well. So you just want to make sure, particularly if you're purchasing condo, townhome, to make sure that you will be able to bring your fur kid with you, and just, talk to your agent about that when you get to that point. Okay, so those are all of the things that I wanted to bring up. Now, of course, the surrounding Irvine areas, there are also plenty of dog parks, and one of Saul's favorite places to go that we go to all the time is just a little north in Huntington, and that's the Huntington Dog Beach. So you can go bring your dog there, and they can roam around freely in the sand, get in the water, and they can socialize with other dogs as well, and it's just a ball. So we do that almost every weekend. So even though he doesn't go as far anymore, he really just enjoys laying on the sand and breathing that ocean air. Again, if you have any questions about dog life here in Irvine, feel free to reach out. Happy to answer your questions and address anything. Make sure that you leave the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.